Welcome to Go Lurk Yourself, a podcast about playing games and streaming on the internet. My name is Crunky.
And I'm Real Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. How you doing today?
I am very good. I've got my coffee here. I am super ready to go.
And longtime listeners may have realized that is Real Amanda and not Cherry Cake TV. Real Amanda is coming in this week to help with some co-hosting duties. Cherry Cake is going to take some time off, and we will hope to have her back on real soon. So, if you guys don't know, Real Amanda is a Twitch streamer. She's been part of the greater community, and I think, Amanda, we met through General Chaos Live's channel, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amanda is she's an international, adds some international flavor to our show. She's from Canada.
Exotic. Very exotic.
Very exotic. We're keeping it all North America up in here this week. Real Amanda, how long have you been on Twitch nowadays?
It's been that I've been active. It's been just over a year.
Awesome.
I was affiliated August of last year, so.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, coming up on an anniversary year.
And that's when you got affiliated. So did you get affiliated pretty quick?
I did, yeah. I kind of didn't really do it seriously for a while, and then once I started, it just, you know how it is when the bug bites you.
Oh yeah, you can't get enough. It's funny. One of the first guests we ever had on the show, one of the first friends I made on Twitch was a guy I know named B-Shiv, also from Canada. Well, he was from New York, but he lived in Canada when we talked a lot. And when the affiliate program launched, he and I were talking every day, and like. He'd been streaming for 2 years, had like 1,000 followers plus, or maybe 2,000, and he was one of the last of us to get affiliate for some reason. Like he fell through the cracks, and every day he was like, "Are you kidding me, Twitch? Why am I not affiliated yet?" I passed all the critiques, but whenever Twitch launches something like emotes or something like that, there's always like some kind of weird bug. Somebody gets left behind for longer than the rest of us. But.
Yeah, I know him too. It's been nice to get to know everybody in the community and to spider out into the web of the rest of the communities. So met a lot of people through you guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But so we're hoping we're going to cycle through some people from the community as co-hosts for the next couple of months. Real Amanda has so graciously decided to join us today, and we'll probably have her back as many times as she wants over that time period. Also look forward to hearing from College of Celiac, who was a guest on here, I think episode 3 or 4, maybe earlier on, but he's really excited to come back. We'll also have Sunny D and Snuffus on, and maybe a few other surprises. And I'm sure Cherry will be back soon. I just don't know when. So. Yeah. Next part of the podcast we usually go to here, Amanda. I know you. Amanda says she binge listened to the entirety of every episode we did. Was it when you were sick?
Yeah, I was in. We were visiting family in Mexico, and I got sick the second day, and I was like bedridden, and I didn't have great Wi-Fi, so I couldn't, watch Twitch or watch movies or anything. Yeah. And so I think I binge listened to every single episode, and some multiple times.
Oh wow! So you got the bug bad, huh?
Yeah.
So I don't really need to explain. I don't need to explain the format to you.
No, I think I got it down.
All right. Well, here's where we normally talk about what games we've been playing. What have you been playing lately, Amanda?
Well, I haven't been playing anything new per se, but I have been working through the Sea of Thieves Tall Tales, which are a series of individual quests that are part of a bigger story. I think there's 10 of them, and they're all different. So some of them are puzzles, some of them are riddles that you have to work out, what island to go to and where to look for things, and it reveals a bigger story. And so I've been doing those and having a good time. And then the other game that I've been playing, and a lot of people have been playing, is I've started playing Minecraft again.
Now, Minecraft, that's a PC game? No, I'm just kidding. I know what Minecraft is.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is starting servers, and last night I was counting, and I think out of the dozen people or so that I had live, half of them were streaming Minecraft. It was funky.
what is it with this resurgence of Minecraft? Before we get to that, though, you mentioned Sea of Thieves, and for those who don't know, Real Amanda is a big time Sea of Thieves streamer. That's like what, 50% or more of what you stream.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's well documented. She was actually afraid to bring it up before we started today because I jokingly mock Sea of Thieves quite a bit. That game has changed quite a bit since I've last played it. So, and one of the games that we're here to talk to, you can tell by the title of the episode, is The Outer Wilds, and it does all the things that Sea of Thieves does, actually less so, and I love it. So I think spoiler alert for later. I think it's important to talk about this expansion that came out. What is it called?
So they're the Tall Tales, and it brings. So they had done a huge PvP edition called the Arena, which were 24-minute matches of 6 ships.
I remember watching you. Yeah, I watched you stream it quite a bit. You and Snuffus and couple of your regulars were playing it quite a bit when the Arena came out. I remember.
Oh yeah, Arena is very addicting. It's very fast paced. You get thrown into a really small map area, and it's it's not battle royale style. It's not last ship standing. It's you get points for digging up chests. You get points for landing cannon shots, for killing other pirates. It's very PvP based.
Oh, that sounds like right up my alley.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of ship to ship combat.
Awesome.
Basically you get, if you dig up a chest and everybody has the same treasure map, so you're fighting with other pirates to get the same treasure. If you turn in a pirate chest, you get 1,000 points. However, if your ship sinks, you lose 1,000 points. So, it's a balance between PvP and trying to get those chests turned in, and the time limit and the size limit of the map just make it a really, really intense experience.
That's great. I think that's what that game was missing, like at the beginning for me. Like I remember when the game launched, and I was like, "This is cool." I mean, the game looks pretty. It's got a great art style. I think every time I would go into stream, I go, "I forget how good the water looks in this." And you're like, "Yeah, but I have the water turned down all the way."
Yeah,
because you're streaming, and I'm like, and I love everything about it. But I think for me, the early on, that like once I got my first treasure chest, I'm like, oh, that's cool. What else is there? And they're like, that's it. So all these expansions are really cool. I'm really happy to hear about it.
And now there's, even before this, they had added all these different PvE encounters. So you can be out in the world and like a roaming pirate ship, like a skeleton ship will come and attack you, and they have cursed cannonballs. So when their cannonball hits you, it could make you sick, or it could break your leg or something. So it's become a little bit more of a dynamic experience. So when you're out there trying to capture your chests or, do some fishing or whatever you're trying to do, these PvE experiences will come and mess up your day. But so they've had all these expansions. And then the newest thing that I've been playing is these Tall Tales, which are these longer story arcs with a lot of lore. And one of them, for example, that I think you saw me playing the other night was called Stars of a Thief. And you're looking for an artifact, and you're using a journal. And in the journal, it has pictures of constellations and riddles and illustrations. And you have to use the constellations and find the artifact. So you're going from island to island using the stars and reading the clues.
Yeah, I think I saw you had like the treasure map had a picture on it of like you said, a constellation, and then you like literally have to look up at the sky and figure out where to go based on that, like they actually had to back in the day.
Yeah,
that's the kind of cool, like, heady stuff that game really need. So that's cool.
Yeah. And then there's the other one I like is called The Art of the Trickster. And this one is, again, like a lot of the mechanic of getting you to go from point A to point B is through these journals, and you discover pages that have, the next clue. But the one that I really love is called The Art of the Trickster. And it kind of brings in some more like platformy elements. So there's, you have to, jump, you have to go through this series of ship masts in a cave. You have to jump from mast to mast. And if you're carrying something. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't done it, but you have to you have to carry something through, and you have to jump from mast to mast. And if you fall, there's sharpened sticks in the bottom of this pit, and then there's all these different trap mechanisms that you have to circumvent, and still while carrying this item. And it's so fun. I've played it like 3 or 4 times. First person platforming elements.
If I don't know how much PC gaming you did or back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but there was a whole era where I think Half-Life started it, where there were sections that were just like really skilled first person 3D games, jumping mechanics where you had to like figure out how to do special jumps, and people hated it.
Well, but, that level reminded me of like the first 3 Tomb Raiders, if you played those.
I have, yeah. So basically, yeah, all these challenges and stuff. But even if it's like something that maybe some people wouldn't like, it's the variety that game needs. So I hear what you're saying. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been addicted to that.
You've been addicted to that, and then what you were about to tell us before I cut you off? What is it with Minecraft getting huge again?
So I have a couple theories, and I was.
Have you run the numbers? You checked the scrolls.
Yeah. I consulted the Oracle about this, and actually. Nice. So I was looking online and trying to see, I was like looking, why is there a Minecraft resurgence? And I didn't find anything. So I don't really see any specific, event that, spurred this. But I did kind of through looking through what's going on with Minecraft lately, I do have some ideas. I think that a big thing is that they've had a couple really big updates as well. And I think that even though they had been regularly updating it, it didn't really introduce a lot of new game mechanics. And now they have these new crafting tools. They have wandering traders that will, even if you're not in a village, they'll come and show up. They have pillagers.
So there are like patches coming out for this game still?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. That could explain it.
Yeah, and so they have the world just feels a lot more alive than when I played it last.
How long ago was that, would you say?
Oh, years. I mean, I had played it with my siblings-in-law are a lot younger, and we used to play it every Sunday. And I did that regularly, even until recently. But I didn't have much interest in it. It was more just to spend time with them. Yeah,
like a social thing. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I played it for the first time back when it was like not even known. It was a what do they call it? A gameplay discovery, or no? There was a industry buzzword when it came out. Basically it means a discovery mode. Like they just dumped you in. They didn't tell you how to do anything. You had to piece it all out yourself. And I thought that was really fascinating, like to build your first table. And then but no one told you that there's zombies coming the first night. So like that was and I liked it. It was fun. And I played it for a couple of weeks maybe. And then it blew up. I'm like, wow, this is really caught on. And then I had like friends of mine had their little kids ask me, how do I play this game? How do I do it? And can you put it on my computer? And they were trying to run it on their like integrated graphics card laptop back in the day.
Well, it's, it has it. I mean, I hadn't played it since, like really played it for quite some time. And since then, there are things like when you're out in the ocean, there are dolphins and underwater ruins and shipwrecks that you can go in and explore. There are these, like I said, these wandering village or traders that will come just show up at your camp and trade with you. And then there's like these attacking roams they're like villagers, but they have crossbows and they'll just show up.
They're more hostile.
Attack. Yeah, they're hostile.
They're aggressive invaders. It sounds like.
Yeah, so and they're called pillagers. New. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and when they attack a pre-made generated village, it's almost like when the zombies would attack the villagers, except now there's a bell in the town, and if you're trying to protect the town, you can ring this bell, and all the villagers will run inside and hide.
Oh, okay, that's definitely new gameplay.
Yeah.
When I played it, like literally, it was before it even got out of Java. Like before Windows bought them, it was still what was his name? Notch. The guy, I think his name was Notch, the guy who created it.
Yeah.
Sold it for billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that they just had their 10-year anniversary,
Okay.
I guess. So it's been out for 10 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. But
Yeah.
I think that maybe it having its 10-year anniversary has spurred a lot of people who maybe were big Minecraft YouTubers or just content creators in general. I think it has spurred a lot of them to, revisit it. And I think that
Shroud, did I see that Shroud played it the other day?
I have no clue.
I think he did. So a lot of times, what'll happen when a big game comes out, Apex was guilty of this, and a couple other ones, they'll legit just pay the big Twitch streamers to play it because it directly influences their numbers. It's more effective advertising than buying TV commercials. So I wonder if Microsoft did any of that with the new Minecraft update.
Well, I saw a bunch of. I mean, my YouTube feed all of a sudden was full of Minecraft again.
Yeah.
And the people, the couple videos that I clicked on, they seem genuinely excited. And the people that I've been playing with as well are all people who have played it before and they're revisiting it again. And they're opening up servers and realms, which is the realms are the official,
Minecraft hosted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that until Chaos was telling me about it. I saw him streaming it.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I saw everybody playing Minecraft and I was like on Twitch and I'm like, I don't have the nostalgia that some people do. I think I was like too old for it when it came out for it to really capture my imagination. But I still understand and I get it. And when I played it, I enjoyed it. But after a while, it's just like, man, if I want to just build and maintain shit, I got plenty of stuff to do at home I can do.
Yeah, lawn care simulator. Well, I think that the nostalgia factor may be what's bringing people back, but all the new content is what
gives them something to do. Yeah,
and you have that nostalgia, and for me, it was like you have the nostalgia. You go back, you get that hit of everything that you were, missing or that you forgot you were missing, and then
my feels.
So, but it's not just that nostalgia because they have all this new content. So you come back, you're like, oh yeah, I just punched a tree and I got wood. I made a crafting table and I'm, doing some animal husbandry.
It's 2009 all over again.
Yeah. But then you go into craft and you're like, what? I can make a loom? What can I do with a loom?
Yeah.
And then you just are on that journey again that you went on when you first got the game and you were finding all these things you could discover.
Yeah, all the discovery. That's the most important aspect of that game to me when I played it was the emergent gameplay. That's the buzz term I couldn't remember, but basically it, figuring it out in the sense of discovery and wonder of, oh, that's how this works. And if I can do that, then maybe I can do this. And then you try it and it works. And I think that's where some video games really can thrive in that world, or if it's a good mix of all like that. Minecraft, I think, succeeded because it was creative. It was you could be creative within its boundaries. You could. It was scary. The creeper at night in the dark, the zombies at night. It had some action for those people that wanted that. It had the sense of discovery of, what's in this cave? Oh my God, there's diamonds down here. What can I do with diamonds? And they kept that carrot on the stick of the hardest to get materials were really, really difficult to get, but so worth it if you got them. Very smart gameplay design. And hopefully it sounds like they're moving on, continuing to evolve the game, even though Microsoft bought it, 5 years ago now? 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a few years for sure.
Yeah. Well, so you've been playing Sea of Thieves and Minecraft. I only have maybe 10 hours, maybe 12 under my belt for a new game called, a new game to me, it's not new, called Escape from Tarkov. Have you ever played this or seen any of it?
I've watched you play it a little bit. I watched Typical Teddy play it a little bit.
Did you fall asleep?
I've watched it. I can neither confirm nor deny my consciousness at the time. But I have watched it, and I enjoy watching you guys play it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not trying to convince anyone to play it. In fact, it was our friend, the Bro Zerker, was in the stream, and he says, man, I really got to thank you for streaming this today. You saved me $40 because he had been tempted to buy it for a while. And people who don't like it aren't wrong. It's early access. It's a beta, but you have to pay to get into the beta. But the way, for the first half an hour, I watched Teddy stream, and I'm like, dude, tell me how this game works. What's the objective of the game? And he would just go into the details. Well, first you get this, and then you get that. And I go, no. Back up, 30,000 feet level. How does the game work? And what I want to do is tell people who are looking into it, this is how it works from my standpoint. If you've ever played a Diablo or a dungeon crawler, imagine a dungeon crawler where there's a persistent world, and you every time you go in, you take a few things from your stockpile with you, and you try to collect loot and get out. If you get killed by either NPCs or players, they can loot your body and take your stuff. So it's a looter game that has PvP and permadeath issue, not permadeath, but item loss in it. So it's a really interesting idea, and I had a lot of fun with it with some old friends of mine who were like, hey, I'm going to try this new game. You want to try it? My friend Dama. And he says, sure, let's do it. And we had a great time Friday night playing it. However, people who have faults with the game aren't wrong. It's got some issues. It's very technical. Like literally, because it's a looter game, they have to give you some loot to find. So it's got some survival elements. You got to find your bandages, your splints, and your painkillers. You got to find your guns and your bullets and your magazines and all the little bips and bops that go on your gun. Like guns come with nothing on them. So if you want a scope, we got to buy that separately. And it's okay. Go ahead. I'll keep cutting you off.
So was there is there an economy in it? Because I've seen when you guys play it that you have to buy things.
Yeah. So in Diablo, when you play Diablo or Diablo 3?
I never played Diablo.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a game like it. Or think of an MMO. Where you walk into Ironforge or whatever the starter's town you go into, and there's vendors there that sell stuff, and of course everything's like 4 million gold. The really cool stuff is you can't afford that, but there's some here's a cheaply thrown together sword you can use for 2 silver. So you buy that, and then you go out and you kill some monsters, you get a little bit more. Imagine instead of going back to town, you just logged out. And when you're logged out, that's the hub game. You can go to the traders there, or you can go equip your character and put this and that on. And so that's the gameplay loop. And the thing that throws people off is you have a permanent character, and then you could, let's say you're doing really poorly and you're terrible at the game, or the game just is broken and doesn't work like it's supposed to, like it did to me last night. You can play a scavenger who's like a temporary character you only have access to like every 20 minutes. The scavenger, the reason they limit that is because he starts off with like a preset build. He's got some armor and some guns, and it's random which one you get. If you just get that scavenger through, he can leave, and all the items that he spawned with, you can put on your main character. So it's like that's the oh my god, I'm too broke to even go out and collect anything. So it's hit and miss. Like I like a lot of things about it. I think what I said yesterday was, for every one thing I love about it, there's about 1.5 things I don't. It's the UI is a bit clunky. I had some technical issues. Like when you go in the world, you log in, or you log in, and it says, hey, you need to collect loot and escape to this zone, and it's random which way you have to get out. Well, I don't know the maps. I just started playing the game, and in order to see an in-game map, you have to find one, and then you have to learn where it is and what they call places. And so literally the first couple times you play, you're like wandering around. And then when you're wandering around, don't know what you're doing, and you're running against like other PvPers who are super good at the game and know what's going on. I didn't see a guy, and he wrecked me with he's got tier 3 body armor, and I'm running around naked with a shotgun,
Yeah, and you've got your scope is like a soup can.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't even have a scope. I can't afford scopes. Calm down. But I'm intrigued enough to keep playing it. But here, the funny thing is I played it a little bit last night solo after my friend went to bed, and I played one time. I got shot in the head. I'm like, screw this. And I played PUBG again, just my comfort food. And one game of PUBG solo for bed, I got a chicken dinner. So
I saw that you got a chicken dinner.
I was like, yeah, that's 4 beers is the perfect amount of beers before you play PUBG.
I agree. Chicken. I agree. I play it a lot better when I've imbibed.
But that's Escape from Tarkov, or as other people call it, Escape from Consciousness. Because people, it was Zerker kept going, all I see is trees. You're just running around looking at trees. I'm like, oh, calm down. It's not an action-packed kind of game. It's a survival looter game. But what we're really here to talk about, according to the title here, is Outer Wilds. You've done a bit of looking into this game too, haven't you, Amanda?
Yeah, and I think I have to get it. It just from seeing what I saw, it reminds me of a game that I loved when I was a kid. It reminds me of the Myst games a little bit.
Oh yeah,
just from the trailers and reviews and stuff that I've seen.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, absolutely. It is basically a more fleshed out, fully 3D functional Myst game, mixed with a little bit of Majora's Mask. If you've ever played that on the N64, and I think they put a 3DS port out. It's a Zelda game from way back. It has a time loop mechanic in it. So Outer Worlds, you play this four-eyed blue alien who is the fifth member of your species to go out in space. And it's really funny because, you spawn and they're like, are you excited? Today's the day. You've completed all this. And they send you on like a little tutorial run through your home planet. They teach you how to like fly a model ship, and they teach you how to put your suit on and breathe and kind of jump around in low gravity. They do all this stuff to kind of get your feet wet. And then they give you your launch code and you take off into space. But at the end of about 25 minutes on your first space exploration, you realize, I didn't notice it till maybe my third day, but the whole time you're out there, the sun is going from yellow to red and it's getting bigger. Mm-hmm. And after about 25 minutes, it explodes. And you wake up the next day, just like you woke up the first day, and one of your dialogue options with the guy that's by the bonfire is to say, oh my God, what happened? I died and now I'm back here. And he's like, what are you talking about? And no one else is aware that you're going through this time loop. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting. And I'll tell you what, the best part about this game to me has been like that sense of discovery. There's no combat in it. And long-time listeners of the show know that that's usually my number one beef with the game is that the combat's terrible. Well, this one has no combat. And the whole time I was playing it, I was thinking about how you and I were talking about it. It reminds me of Sea of Thieves, and that it's like, but Sea of Thieves has combat. You take off from your home base, and there's 7-8 planets around, and some other things floating around in the solar system, and you have 20 minutes to go to one of them and explore and find dialogue, and you find the ruins and like the leftover writings from an ancient civilization, not ancient, I think they say thousands of years ago. Mm-hmm. There's some obviously scientific technical people who are all gone, and you find like their skeletons laying around, and you find their technology is broken, and you basically have to piece together this puzzle. Very, very Myst-like you said. Mm-hmm. And the puzzle is what happened to them, and why is the sun going supernova, and what can you do to stop it? And I don't want to get into spoiler territory because like any details I give would be spoiler, but mm-hmm. there are game mechanics on every world. One of them is a sand planet that has a moon circling it, and from the moon is made out of sand as well. Like there's a stream of sand that the planet is pulling sand off of the moon in its orbit. So if you go really early on that planet, there's like a whole intricate down, underneath the surface, there's a bunch of caves and places to explore. But as you're exploring, the clock's always running, it fills up with sand. So if you go there late, there may be things toward the end of the day that you don't have access to because the sand's not high enough. However, all the things that were there earlier in the day are gone because they're now buried. It's a game where you're going to die and do a lot of repeats a lot. If you've ever played Majora's Mask, you know what I'm talking about. And that's a real big turnoff for some people.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I was going to ask you about that, the time, because I saw that someone had said there's a time travel element, but it sounds like you're talking more about a Groundhog Day than a Memento scenario.
Yeah. Now, I got to be real careful how I phrase this. It's definitely Groundhog Day is how it feels when you play it. There are some things that happen at the end of the game that call that into question, but I can't make a definitive statement on that. I cannot confirm nor deny.
so on the surface, it's got that. It's more of a loop, a time loop than a time travel on the surface. As far
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they make a point when you wake up when you wake up every time you die or the universe explodes. You're laying on the ground looking up at a planet, and there is a comet that shoots out of a device, and you see it happen, and every time it launches, it's going a different direction. And the whole time I play, I go, that's got to mean something. The developers didn't put that there by accident. Yeah. And I still right now don't know. There's always something more to find in that game, but
yeah. So Chekhov's comet has got you thinking.
Exactly.
So can I ask? So is the game doesn't sound linear at all?
No.
How did is the story is all through discovering these artifacts?
100%. It's it sent chills up my spine like in 10 minutes for the first time. And at every planet I go to, something really creepy and wild. And, I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. So all this scratches the itch. Like it reminds me of when I talked to you or Snuffus about Sea of Thieves. You guys love pirates. You think that's cool. And that can carry you through. You'll put up with a lot of stuff because it's fucking pirates. It's awesome. I'm the same way with this is in space and I'm flying a spaceship around. And like, I really get sucked into this world. Literally, there's a world. There's a world with a black hole in the middle, and I went there several times. And the first time I actually I lost control of my ship and I went through the black hole. I thought, well, I'm going to die. No, something else happened, and I don't want to say what it is, but it's just a game of nonstop. Oh my God, that is so cool discoveries, and what does this mean? And you're literally like trying to piece the puzzles together. It's the first time I want to say years that I've been like. I played it last night off stream because I didn't want to be bothered and interrupted by chatting with people. I wanted to just focus on it and enjoy it. And that's very rare for me.
Well, another thing that seems rare for you is that you would enjoy a game that is nonlinear, open world exploration. I mean, from my experience, you prefer kind of more guided. You don't want to have to decide what you're going to do that day. You want to know what you're doing. So what makes this different?
That's a great question. And there's 7 planets. And so like literally while it is, you can pick any 7 any time. And if it doesn't work out, you just start over. I have a list of things I can do. I know that there's these 7 planets I can go to and that all the puzzles are there. So that's why. And I know that I have 25 minutes on each planet to figure things out. And when you get there, it's obviously been set up and guided. So one of the planets that you land on is the one I was told you had the black hole in the middle. You have to land on it. And then there's a technology that lets you walk on walls and ceilings and stuff. And they're lit up and there's like these blue diamonds. So when you land there, you're like, well, that's obviously where I'm supposed to go. So you go on there and it takes you into the city and then the discovery starts happening. And then sometimes you find things that are off the beaten path too, but those are the exception.
Right. So it's almost like the different planets are like different levels and you're going and you're replaying the levels to find new items. Okay.
One thing, and I think you hit on the head right there, was I don't like in an open world game is that I have no idea where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do. And if I start wandering, I literally just wander and do nothing for 3 hours. I'm like, where's the game?
Yeah.
It's like Skyrim. That's what I do in Skyrim. Just wander around for hours.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm sure that's probably what you ended up doing in Sea of Thieves too. And it's definitely not a mechanic that's for everybody because especially if, people who are busy and have kids and jobs, they just want to play a game.
Oh, those losers. God. No, yeah. Sea of Thieves. The open world of Sea of Thieves didn't bother me because you had a map and you had things to do. It was I'm not ragging on Sea of Thieves. I'm actually going to try it again once I figure out how to fix that screen bug without turning my Windows settings all the way down.
Yeah. But anyway, so it seemed interesting. The fact that you, so everything you're telling me, firstly, the kind of Myst comparison is making me so intrigued because I haven't had a game like Myst, and I think I own The Witness, which somebody else compared this game to, and I haven't played it, and I should because again, it's been compared to Myst, which I loved so much. When I was a kid, but the way you're describing this, the sci-fi element and the time travel element and the discovery, the mystery, the mystery element of it makes it
the
really
mystery.
intriguing.
I see what you did there. Mystery. That's an A+ pun right there. Yeah, you're right though. This game does go against some of my convictions about video games. I don't like walking simulators. I don't like the games where all you do is read stuff in an open world, and that's 90% of what this game is. But what they really did to capture me, I'll talk about this part because it introduces the time loop mechanic. Mm-hmm. When you're in the tutorial area, they're telling you, oh, we found a statue of one of the previous 1,000-year-old race called the Omai. And they say, we found a statue of an Omai. It looks like they have 3 eyes. And there's a joke about how weird that is because these guys all have 4 eyes. And and they look like goats a little bit. And they put a statue in the museum. So you're going to the museum, and right when you get your launch codes, they're like, okay, here's your launch codes. You're running back out of the museum, and it stops you dead in your tracks. And the statue's eyes light up and turn and look right at you and knock you on your ass. And like you have this like vision in front of your eyes. And they're very smart about how they do this. They do the whoa, what is happening, and like mess with your perception of reality. There's keys that you'll find on these planets that of the Omai technology where you'll put a key in a key slot, and a bubble will go around you, and it will transport just what you can see to somewhere else. Okay. And is that somewhere else in the future, in the past? Is it another planet right now? I had my theories, but one of them definitely was the past because it showed like the Omai structure before it was deteriorated and how it was supposed to work. They use that to like bewilder you, fascinate you, and also it's part of the puzzle elements. Like you'll have a bubble that'll show you something that makes sense that you need to tie the puzzles together. So it's a little bit like Twilight Zone-esque, like something that'll blow your mind. And that's what I love most about it. I will say right now, without hyperbole, it's July 14th today. My birthday, by the way. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Cranky.
Yeah. I wasn't really digging for that happy birthday. You already did tell me, but I just was like, I was just going to quote the date, and I'm like, oh yeah. But this is my game of the year right now. It's been my favorite gaming experience of this year. And that said, I know it won't be for everybody because it does some very particular things. But it is literally like the most immersive game I've played in years. And like, it's one of those games that reminds you of why you play video games, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And another, like, as you're describing it to me now, it kind of, and I mean, Twilight Zone is one thing, but it reminds me of those like really great classic Star Trek episodes where they land, they do their away mission. They're there to, like, oh, we just need to pick up, flower X for the fling flang. And you're like, okay, yeah, we're just going to go down, with the main cast and one other guy who's unnamed, and we're going to just do our thing. And that guy's not going to live, but he's wearing a red shirt, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it kind of sounds a bit like Star Trek Away Mission Simulator, which is, I know probably itches a lot of your scratches, and the way you're describing it to me reminds me of those episodes that are a little bit Twilight Zone-y, where they land, they find something unexpected, and then they spend the next half hour trying to figure out the puzzle of what's going on. And
absolutely. If you've ever seen, I love sci-fi movies that introduce something that's almost magical, and then they spend time discovering it and explaining it and making it make sense. Have you ever seen you've seen the Matrix movies?
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in a sci-fi movie was when Neo wakes up from the spoiler alert for a 20-year-old movie. When Neo wakes up from the Matrix and you realize what's actually happening the whole time, and that was so cool when I was younger. And that's what this movie really does, or this game Outer Wilds really does. Is they know, like, I don't know who the developer is off the top of my head. It's a couple different developers, but they seem to know exactly how often to like sprinkle in the amazement things, the things that like are really awesome. Going into a black hole. There's I told you about the planet with the sand that fills up. There's one that like is getting barraged by meteors and literally will crack up and be almost completely gone by the end of the day. So every game world, or every world, has its mechanic. There's one called there's like twin planets circling each other, and there's a mechanic of having to jump back and forth between them. So there's definitely a lot of work went into making each planet unique and interesting and really fascinating to go there. And then, like, as you start to piece the puzzles together, you could tell that this whole game, this whole setup and the cycle was all set up very specifically, and it blows your, like, I can't give away the ending, but it blows your mind at the end when you figure out what it all means. And I don't think it's a game I would play twice, because kind of once the discovery is over, it's over. And that's why if you go to Twitch and look, there aren't a whole lot of people streaming it. I think I had like 30 viewers one day, and I was far and away the number one person streaming the game. And that's not a humble brag. That's not very many viewers for number one spot of any game.
Yeah.
But it's on the Epic Store. It didn't get a lot of promotion.
Right.
It doesn't run really well. When I streamed it, I was getting a lot of frame hiccups. I had to like go through and do some tweaks in NVIDIA's controller to stop it from doing that. But
well, so I just quickly looked it up. I guess the developer is run, like the company is run by the guy named, he played Hero in Heroes. Do you know who I'm talking about? Did you ever see Heroes?
The TV show Heroes?
Yes, yeah. And it's
I know.
And it's the time jump guy, the actor who played the guy who did the time jumps, and the publisher are the people. They've done a bunch of other games I love. One of them is a mobile game called Monument Valley, which is just it's the most atmospheric and beautiful mobile game I've ever played.
I was going to say, atmospheric and beautiful is not something you normally hear for a mobile game.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and that's probably one of my. It's one of my favorite games, and it's a mobile game. But they did Monument Valley. They did. They published Edith Finch. If you ever play that, which is a kind of a walking simulator.
Yeah, I know What Remains of Edith Finch. I definitely know about it. I think I have it. I just never have got up the courage to go dive into it.
Yeah, and they did Flower, which is like a gorgeous, really different game.
Yeah, I know of it.
PS3, I think I had on the PlayStation. Mm-hmm. So it seems that the people who are making it and publishing it are looking to create the type of experience that you're talking about, and they're willing to put in the time, and they're not necessarily as worried about it, not becoming the AAA blockbuster tentpole, and that's probably sounds like it's leading to the kind of experience that you're having and that other people are looking for. So
yeah, I absolutely cannot recommend this game enough. It's on the right now. It's only on the Epic Game Store. It's $25 US. That's for the amount of, even if you only spent, I think HowLongToBeat.com showed this at like 25 hours if you play it casual. That's $1 an hour. That's worth it, every bit of it. And I've got my money out of it twice already. So I would say if any of this sounds fascinating to you or interesting at all, I heard about this game, and I heard some people just totally gush over it. And I'm like, I'll check that out. And then I thought, all the things Amanda accurately predicted, it's open world, it's a lot of walking simulators, a lot of reading. I'm like, I bet I'll play this for like 20 minutes and never touch it again, because I've been known to do that. But no, I cannot get enough. I would recommend it to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want it so bad now. and when you first told me about it, I was like, ooh, I have cash in my Steam wallet, and I went to get it, and then I was like, oh, it's on the Epic Store. But,
oh yeah, I mean,
I do. I have the Epic Store. I definitely I'm gonna look into it, because I'm probably not going to watch a lot of streams of it, because the story, the way that you're talking about the story and the mystery, I just want to discover that for myself. So I was really careful not to give any kind of spoilers out. I talk about some of the mechanics, because you'll see that as soon as you land there. That's not giving anything away. But, there's only so many places to go. But one of the other games that I wanted to talk about today real quick was the Dr. Mario World mobile game. I didn't think about it until you said mobile game. Tell me about it.
Well, I was watching YouTube, and a couple of reviews for it came out where they're saying, oh, it's it's predatory and monetary. It's all monetized and blah blah blah. And I've said on this podcast before that Nintendo tried to do it the right way. They when they came out with Super Mario Run, they said it's $10 once, and you have the game forever. And you can do everything that we ever put in it, and it failed miserably because nobody's going to pay $10 for a mobile game anymore. And so Nintendo was like, "Oh, okay," and they made some more mobile games. They made this Dr. Mario game, and I downloaded it literally just so I could shit on it this week on the podcast. And guess what? It's actually really good.
I know nothing about it. So is it a platformer or?
If you've never played Dr. Mario before, think of it doesn't play exactly like the old Dr. Mario, but think of Tetris. Okay. But instead of multi-shaped pieces, you throw colored pills, like literal pills. That's why he's Dr. Mario. He's throwing pills on the game. It's a body, and this one it's just a square. And there's bugs in there, different colored bugs. And if you in the mobile game, if you get 3 in a row, if you match your pill colors 3 in a row, they disappear, and you got to kill all the bugs. And that's why he's a doctor.
Gotcha.
It's a lot more complicated than that. The mobile version basically gives you heart. There's a heart system, where you have basically you have 5 hearts at the start of each day. When you first get the game, they give you like an hour to play for free. You can do as much as you want for the first hour, but they give you 5 hearts every hour, so you can do 5 stages an hour, which I'm a gamer. I love Dr. Mario, and I was totally against this game when it came out. I have no problem using up the hearts, and you get them back so quick. I've never felt compelled to make one purchase in the game. It's free to play. Okay. I downloaded it. They give you a character, and then you have like a staff where you can like get bonuses for having different members in your staff. Like you'll do X% more damage, you'll have X% more time, little bonuses here and there. But I've not been compelled to buy one. I think they're currency, and there's diamonds you can buy with real world cash. But I'm not recommending the game to anybody other than I'll recommend that you try it out. If you get to a point where you're running against a paywall and you hate it, stop playing it. But I wanted to bring it up real quick at the end of this episode because I think it was last week or the week before that I was like shitting all over it when it was announced. I was like, oh my God, this, and I was so mad about how the mobile game economy is sinking into AAA gaming. I hate that it's bleeding over, but.
Well, I am, if you haven't guessed, I've not really been a Nintendo person until I got my Switch. And so I'm just kind of, like, I haven't played a lot of Marios. I haven't played a lot of Zeldas. I'm just sort of, I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is the first Nintendo game I've played since I had an N64.
Oh, okay.
So,
but,
yeah.
There, the N64 was like if you've listened to all the podcasts, you've heard me say this, was the console that I got as an adult that got me back into gaming. There's some timeless classics on there, including Ocarina of Time, but I can't recommend anybody who's never played them to go play them now because all you'll notice is how antiquated it is now. Yeah. The experience of it is definitely like of its time, but it was amazing at its time.
Yeah. So there's a arcade bar here in Toronto where I live, called Tilt, down on Dundas West, if anyone here is in Toronto. And they have a bunch of old arcade cabinets and pinball machines. And then they have, an area with booths, and each booth is a different game console. And nice. The booths are decorated as if they're from that era, so the N64 booth is like on a big, huge CRTV, and
awesome.
The couch looks exactly like the couch, and there's like they put like a little carpet, like they made it look like not shag carpet, but like really, someone's mom's basement carpet underneath it.
It was the 90s, not the 70s.
Guys. Yeah, not shag, but anyway, so I've actually replayed some N64 games there, but like I played like Mario Kart and GoldenEye there, and it is. You really can never go home again.
Yeah. To be honest, that is probably the best way for you to experience those today is after a few drinks with some friends at a bar, because you're just going to focus on the social and fun aspect. And the Nintendo 64 came out of the box with 4 controller ports. And for a certain generation, old people like me, my wife and I, when we were dating, we'd have friends over all the weekends, and that's what we would do. Four of us would sit there and play GoldenEye or Mario Kart, and just have a blast, you know. And it was right as we became drinking age, so we'd have a few drinks and play, and that's what you remember. You don't remember the clunkiness of it. You don't remember that, like, literally GoldenEye, you had to use a right D-pad to look around on the screen.
I know. That was actually, someone asked me there, you know, like, what was your first quote unquote shooter game? It was totally GoldenEye. Me and my dad used to play GoldenEye all the time. But it was fun to play for like 20 minutes, and then I went back to Q*bert.
Q*bert. Now that's old school. That's 80s.
I am on the Q*bert. If you go to Tilt Arcade Bar on Dundas West in Toronto, I am on the high scoreboard of Q*bert. High
scoreboards. Are there people that still even know what that means now?
Yeah, and my username is my I put in ASA.
Okay.
Because I got in trouble for putting an ass.
Oh, nice. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for being here. How do people reach out to you on the social medias?
So on Twitter, I'm Real Amanda, and likewise on Twitch, I am Real Amanda there as well. And you can find me anywhere for voice work or anything at realamandalive.com.
Real Amanda does excellent voice work. You're currently recording a game mod, right?
Yeah, I just finished a big one that's been released, and I'm about to start another big one as well. So if you ever see me on Discord and I've got the Do Not Disturb on, it's because I'm recording.
Nice. Yeah, I can confirm she does great voice work. You may, if you guys listen to this podcast, you probably know General Chaos. He was on earlier. She did all his alerts. They're pretty funny.
I did, yeah. And I do a lot of alerts across Twitch, so, you know, sometimes people will be hanging out with me and they'll say, "Did you do this person's voice alerts? I think it's you."
I was playing Dota Underlords a couple of weeks ago, and there's a character on the named the Enchantress, and I had to stop my game and send Amanda a YouTube clip of her. I was like, "This sounds like your twin if it's not you." And clearly it wasn't, but man, it's like you're in the right line of work.
Yeah.
What you normally stream Eastern Standard Time, like late at night, right? 9 or 10 o'clock.
So I have two since I've gone more full time with streaming. I do variety streams every afternoon, almost every afternoon around 2 p.m. Eastern time, okay. And then Sea of Thieves is in the evenings around 8 p.m. And then Tuesday night we do Root and Toot and Tuesday, where I play something a little Wild West.
Nice. And you can find me on Twitter at CrunkyTTV with 2 N's, and same thing on Twitch. Amanda, thanks again, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.